In this video, we're going to talk about why you should start your brand story with a conflict or maybe with a pain point rather than with a success. Okay, you see, a lot of people usually start their brand story by saying maybe they founded their company in this year and started providing these services. Okay, started providing the services by maybe we founded XYZ company in 2016 where we started offering so and so services. Now, that is a total flop. That is a total flop. You should never start a brand story that way. You should never start a brand story that way. I'm going to explain to you why you should start a brand story with a pain point or with a conflict. Okay, you see, sometimes you see some movies. Okay, the best movie that you see, most of them don't start with a happy ending. Okay, there's a reason why they usually put ending to happy ending. Okay, they don't usually start their story with a happy ending. Okay, they start it with a pen. Okay, they start it with a pain point. They start it not with a pain point, but they start it with a conflict. Okay, they start it with a struggle. Okay, they start it with the non-rosy parts and then end it with the rosy parts, with the happy ending. There's a reason for that, and the reason for that is to create tension. Okay, that's the reason for that. Now, the same thing applies to your brand story. Okay, you can never start your brand story with a success. You can never start your brand story with a success because it does not build any kind of, there is nothing your audience can attach you to, which should be the reason why you started your brand. Okay, now using a conflict to start your brand story is what makes you human, what makes your brand human. Okay, not just it makes you show that you are not just trying to fill a market gap, but you are trying to stand in for a problem. Okay, you are trying to stand in for a problem. Now, let's take for instance, maybe you started your brand story by let's say for instance, I started by your brand story by saying, okay, I found out that the customer service in my locality was very, very poor. That's why I started XYZ company to provide professional and very efficient customer services to businesses. Now, this is the why behind your brand story. It started with a pen and started with a solution and ends with a solution. Okay, or maybe there was a product that was extremely lacking in your community. That was the reason why you started that product, so as to make things easier for people. Okay, people now see it as the gap you are standing in to fix. Okay, not just that you are fixing a problem in the market, but you are fixing a lack, but because you are trying to solve a problem in the market. Okay, people like to see pains and struggles and the transformation that follows after those pains and struggles. Okay, if you just show them your success story without showing them the behind the scenes, the pains, the struggles, it will not attract any emotional connection, because they will think that it has all been rosy all this while. Okay, but when you can tell your brand story with a conflict, with a pain, with a struggle, and then end it with a transformation, okay, that will be your why, and that why is what will make people trust you. Okay, that why is what will make people to become brand advocates. That's what we call brand advocates. Brand advocates are people that promotes a brand or on their own without the brand even telling them to promote it. Do you understand? Okay, now let's say for instance a skincare brand that started a brand because of acne. Let's say a skincare owner that started her own brand because of the acne she's using. She cannot promote her product by saying we just sell cream. It's totally bland. Okay, she's sitting on a gold mine. Okay, now the best way to promote it is by storytelling. We'll tell you a story of how you suffered with acne, and that led you to find out a solution for your problem. Now, once you find out a solution for your problem, you will now think, since I'm suffering from this acne, that means there are thousands of people that are suffering from acne too. Okay, you will not generalize the problem. Okay, and now bring it forth and tell your audience that if you have been suffering, you bring out the product, you tell your story. I've been suffering from acne for so many years, but because of that, I now started searching for a solution. I wasn't confident in going out. Because of the acne I was having, and that really demoralized me. That really caused me to suffer so much depression and all that. So that was why I now had to start finding out a solution to the acne. That's what made me to go into learning about cosmetics and skincare, and that drive of the pain I was going through, that was what now made me to now develop this cream for acne. And since I've used this cream, it has worked perfectly well for me. You see, people, that story will now paint a picture of pain and struggle to transformation in people's eye. Okay, people will now see you as a problem solver, not just as a marketer. Okay, as a problem solver. And that kind of emotional connection, that kind of story is what builds an emotional connection with your audience. Do you understand? Okay, you cannot start your brand story with a success. You start it with a conflict, you start it with a struggle, you start it with a pain, because that is what will make your brand look human. That will make that is what is going to separate your brand from thousands of competitors out there that are just telling their glory, starting their story with a glory, with a success. Okay, so once you do that, your audience will no longer see what you sell. They will see what you stand for. They will see the problem you stand for. Okay, so always tell your brand story with a conflict. At Gobuildly, we are passionate about helping businesses like yours grow with powerful digital solutions. Our services include web design and development, mobile app development, AI automation development, software development, sponsored ads, and social media management. You can book a call with us at www.gobuildly.co.uk. See you there.